This is just the beginning for the San Antonio Spurs after a massive win over the Chicago Bulls on the road to get us to 8-2. The San Antonio Spurs are sitting better than we have sat in many years. But Victor Wembanyama spoke post-game about this, and he is not as pumped about this start because he understands the realistic nature of this start. We're going to discuss all of it here on Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner. And guys, it is a proven fact this year thus far that if you hit that subscribe button, the Spurs are winning games. So continue to hit that subscribe button so you don't miss all the great content that we have coming for you. And I want to give a quick shout out and thank you to Josh and Brian for holding this channel down for the last week and a half while I have been gone. Went home for a moment, back to my homeland, and I proposed to my girlfriend. So I want to say congratulations to Danny. Thank you for saying yes, and thank you to Josh and Brian for holding this channel down. But while I was gone, the Spurs kept holding it down. I know he cut a couple ticks in the loss column, but hey, we're not going 82-0. As Wemby says, we're going to discuss it here. But they did get a win last night because of the heroics of Victor Wembanyama. Stephon Castle again getting over double-digit assists. De'Aaron Fox putting the ball in the basket, but mainly it was this guy there. But Wemby did speak post-game about the start, and he's realistic about the start for the San Antonio Spurs, and I love his comments because he is really focused on the pinnacle and the peak and what the Spurs can be, and not just, yay, we're 8-2, like we're so good. Like, he's really focused on being a long-term winner, and that's what you love to see in your superstars. They only won 22 games last year, 2 years ago. They only won 22 games. 3 years ago, only won 22 games. Last year, 34-48. We're already 8-2. Already 8-2 after only 34 last year. We're a fourth of the way there already. And Wemby, obviously, the two massive threes late. That was the big one. Down 3 with a minute left. We only get 2 possessions left in that game. You'd have to play pretty much a perfect game with them having the ball, with the ability to score 2, if not 3 times. And then he just shakes Vucevic out of his shoes. Little right to left crossover, looking like KD. That is the KD special. The only thing he didn't have was a little shoulder shake with it. But a special 121-117 victory over the Chicago Bulls. Thank you to the heroics and the brilliance of Victor Wembanyama. But the Spurs, obviously, we're missing Dylan Harper. We don't have our full requisite pieces yet. Vassell was a little bit touch and go during the game with a migraine. I know he did play 21 minutes in the game, but he was still a little bit touch and go. Fox is getting himself back in. Sochan the same way. We don't have our full requisite team yet, and neither did the Bulls. They did not have Josh Giddey. So it's not a game where you can look like, yes, we played the Oklahoma City Thunder at full strength, and that was their best team, and we beat them on their home court. There's a little bit to take away. There's a little bit of nuance to the game once you look at it, and the Spurs understand that, leading with Victor Wembanyama, because he spoke post-game saying, I'm also realistic that we didn't play the best teams in the league yet, but we're getting better, and we're going to be ready when it's time to face them. Then he said, we're where we want to be. Of course, we wish we could win every single game, but in the long run, we're not going 82-0. And what I like is we're keeping each other accountable. The coaching staff keeps us accountable. So I know we're only going to keep getting better. And that is 100% true. We're only going to keep getting better with people holding us accountable, because after an 8-2 start, a lot of teams could get into that, wow, we're really special here. This team is like, no, we're not even playing the best teams yet. We're doing what we're supposed to do. A team that was under 500 last year, was massively under 500, having top 5 picks for years and years. They're understanding that, and that's because the Spurs culture has never left. Starting with Gregg Popovich, and he infused that into Victor Wembanyama, and Wemby had that in himself. Had the Spurs' natural way of culture, and love it. I love the way that he is approaching the season. I love the way that he is approaching the start, because he is understanding that you couldn't be in a better spot, really. Realistically, you could be 10-0, but realistically, after 10 games, if we would have said, hey, 8-2, everyone's signing up for it. I'm signing up for it. You couldn't be in a better spot, but they know there's so much more to build towards, because Why couldn't it be this year? Why do we have to always go with what history says? Why can't it be this year? Why can't we get to the conference finals? Why can't we sneak into the finals? We have what generational talent at playing in his pinnacle, not even his pinnacle yet, but playing great. Why can't we? And obviously for a chunk of the second half of Chicago, didn't appear the Spurs would pick up their 8th victory. As we saw, Chicago was hot from 3, and we did a post-game last night. If you haven't checked that out, go check that out too. Me and Josh talked about it there later in the game, so I'm not going to touch on this too much, but they were hot. They were hot, and then Wemby was talking about that first shot that he took. He said, the first one I definitely knew that's where I wanted to go, the 7'5" guy. And I mean, again, if you watch him just pull into this, there was no hesitation. Pulled right into that three-point shot. And then following, obviously, he played great defense at the rim to contest. And then, you know what he did on the second one. We got to watch the first one again, really, to get to it real quick. But then again, that KD style right to left crossover after telling multiple people to go. He said, hey, that's what I'm doing. That's exactly what you see from the Slim Reaper himself. And so, took the straightaway 3 on, and that really signed, sealed, delivered. I'm yours. Shout out to Stevie Wonder. The second one, I quickly decided that I felt I could get separation and felt like it would just make the situation more complicated if I went through the crowd. And that's correct. I liked that shot from him. He was rolling in the game. He was alone. He had the matchup that he wanted. I liked that 3, especially after hitting one. I don't always love when people have to resort to threes, especially when you don't need the 3 points. But I loved that 3 from Wemby because I thought that one was one where it was in rhythm, had space, and he got a really clean look at it. So I thought it was good, and I guess he chose right too. But it capped another once-in-a-lifetime performance as he became the first player with 35, 10, 5 assists, 5 three-pointers, and 5 blocks in a game, which is just insane. It's just insane the fact that he has that kind of capabilities to shoot from the outside, but also can defend the rim, obviously getting rebounds, and he can just score points with the best of them. And on the season this year, Wemby has been 26-13, and this is after a little bit of a spell where he was going down a bit. 4 blocks a game, shooting over 50% from the floor, 32.6 from 3. And these are only going to go up the more and more this team becomes consistent. A guy I want to also talk about a little bit, Stephon Castle, 18.5, 6 and 8. This guy is just dishing the ball at an insane rate, and that 48.8% from the field. If he's going to stay like that, okay. And I want to touch just one more thing before I get to it. I want to touch on this game, and then I'll be done. I'll be out of the hair of everybody here. But 38, 12, 5, and 5. We know what Victor Wembanyama did. Castle, 19, 11. I just touched on that. Vassell didn't have a great game. His little migraine, he was kind of in and out of it. Nothing to worry about there. I loved Luke Cornett coming back. 16 points, 7 rebounds. The thing about this team that we really do have is we have so many finishing lineups. We wanted Luke Cornett tonight. We have that. Jeremy Sochan has the ability when he is right and he gets back into the action, he can close. If Julian Champagne's hitting from 3, he can close. If we really needed it, Keldon Johnson could close. Kelly Olynyk knows how to play basketball. He could close. Like, we have so many players that could close, or you could just close with your starting 5 that you had tonight with Harrison Barnes. I love De'Aaron Fox. De'Aaron Fox right now, he is adding a bit of consistency and calmness to the offense that I love. You would think more when he came back that he was going to become a passer and a facilitator more, but Castle's actually taking that role. And I said it last night, I'm going to say it tonight. He kind of is reminding me a little bit of early Westbrook. Not that triple-double Westbrook that just had the ball and like he got his assists off being so ball-dominant. It was when Westbrook was really learning how to become a point guard because at UCLA with Darren Collison, he didn't have to be. He was a 2-guard. So coming into the league, he was a 2-guard. And then he had Harden. And when Harden was there was a point where in 2014-ish when Harden went to the Rockets, 14-15 around there, where Westbrook had to learn how to become a point guard, and he was like, oh, I'm better at this than I thought. Castle is showing that, like, oh, I'm better than this than I thought. Like, I didn't think he was going to come into the league and be that, but he's truly becoming that right now for the Spurs team. I love it. I love it. And when he is downhill and making quick decisions and not dribbling the ball up the floor and pounding the ball for 12 to 14 seconds, when he's a 4 to 6 second guy, he is a quick, great decision maker when he just goes with his first thought. And the turnovers went from 5 to 2 down to 1. So over the last 3 games, it is 37 assists to only 8 turnovers. That will get it done. That will absolutely get it done. But Wemby, special. Everybody on this team has been great so far. I know it's just 7-2 down there. It's really 8-2. Hasn't fully updated yet. It's really 8-2. It's hard to update with how special the Spurs team has been going. But this has been Spurs Digest with your host, Keenan Warner, guys. Again, hit that subscribe button so we win more games. You hit that subscribe button, we win more games. It's really that simple. This has been Spurs Digest, Keenan Warner. Let me know what you guys think about the Spurs in the comments here. And again, thank you to Josh and Brian for holding this down. But I'm back now. I'll be seeing you guys again very soon.